to introduce our first speaker, Dr. Gary Berman. Dr. Berman has extensive training in solid-state physics, nuclear engineering, electro-optics, and electrical engineering. After working for 8 years as a physicist with Texas Research, engineering and Texas Instruments, Dr. Berman has realized the amazing potential for bringing together physics and metaphysics and bringing it together to bring in a healthcare system. So I would like to now turn on over and bring in Dr. Gary Berman.
Thank you, Danny. I think this is funny. Danny's one of my patients, and we were supposed to have someone introduce me, but thank goodness we have people with a lot of courage to take charge. So thank you very much. As Danny said, I'm Dr. Berman, and today we're going to be speaking about getting out of your way and getting into spirit. And I'm going to be going into the audience and answering your questions, whatever you deem is most important. And I'm going to be using this item partially as my way of helping me analyze you. Now, for those of you who don't know me, we would call this a spine, and you'd be right. But for those of you who do know me, we would call this an antenna. If I move this in this plane and put ribs and arms and legs to this looks a lot like the old antenna we used to have on our roofs once we were getting radio and TV reception years ago. Now, years ago, I realized that that's exactly what was happening, and that changed my whole life because according to the second law of antenna theory, which is a law just like the law of gravity, it's a law in physics, it says that every antenna is transmitting and receiving information. It's transmitting every thought, every belief, every action, everything that's happened to you or I over the course of our life from the time of conception on. It's transmitting it to a great library of information that's freely available about any one of us, about all of us. And every one of us can access this. There are no secrets about anyone on the face of this earth. And conversely, it is receiving the information necessary for you to have an incredible quality to your life and living. It's giving you information, but that information is knowledge. It is the knowledge to answer all of your questions regardless of what the topic is. It's doing that so you can fulfill your purpose and destiny for being here. We all have one. And if we follow that coming from God, it is amazing how this works. Now, you might think about this as being preposterous. How in the world could this happen? You might think about the quality of the world out there. You might even think about what's happened in your own life about the problems you've had. How in the world is this giving me information, and why hasn't it improved the quality of my life? Well, the answer to that is very simple. This is powered by 3 different sources. It's an antenna. Every antenna has to be powered. It's powered by a brain, our logical side. It's powered by a heart, our emotional side. And it's powered by an area about an inch below the navel, which I call spirit, which is our connector to the divine, our connector to God. Now, the reason why you and I have lost one too many battles, the reason why the world's in such a bad place, is very simple. It's because you, I, the world, has been following our human side too much. We've been too much concerned about our logic or our emotions, and we've forgotten that there's another source available to us that wants to freely help us. Now, I'm not here today to really talk about how to get out of the human side, but there's a problem with living in the human side too. The other problem is that if you spend too much time in your brain, you begin to go into anger and frustration. Too much time in your heart, you begin to create fear, doubt, uncertainty. And if you live in the spirit, or work from the spirit and get information from there, you have calmness, you have peace, you have focus. Everyone is trying to help you, we're all connected, and everyone wins. But let me give you a quick story because this was very pertinent. Okay, this happened on Friday. Okay. Friday, I had to take care of some business. So I'm running a few errands. I've got my cell phone with me. Okay? I'm calling from my vehicle. I have to stop into a location, business. I spend some time there, talk to some people. I take the cell phone in with me. And I'm calling people from there, and eventually talking to some of the people there, finish my business, leave, go home, take care of a couple of things, and then I realize I need to go to the office to pick up a couple of things. Well, I get in my vehicle and I realize I left my cell phone back at that business. I don't have my cell phone. I'm going to need it this weekend. I'm going into like a real lather that I could do something this foolish. And for at least a minute or two, no more than that, I beat myself up pretty good. But then I realized that God's in control. that there has to be a reason for this. And I can just relax because, hey, I get some time off. I don't have to talk on this darn thing. And I'm really feeling pretty good about it, that if I never get it back, it's okay. I don't care, because there has to be another reason for me to have left it where I did, and for this whole experience to occur. I really got right with myself. I felt at peace. I was calm. I get to my office. I walk into my office, go to my desk. This is sitting on the top of my desk. It was there. And I was not at my office any time on Friday, except for that moment. It was there. Now, I asked God, what are you trying to teach me? He said, Gary, I'm always there. If this is important to you, something as simple as a cell phone, because this shocked me. This has only happened twice to me in my life, this time and one other time. But something I lost came back without me having to search for it. Has this ever happened to anyone here? With a show of hands, has that ever happened to anyone here? Well, congratulations. Okay, and for everyone else, get ready, because we're all sharing this, and it's going to happen to you too. Okay? So, I was amazed. But then I realized that God is in control, and God cares about everything that's important to us. He's there also. So, once I realized that this is an antenna, that this is sending out whatever I want, and it's helping me achieve whatever I want, then it's up to me to be right with it, and to start thinking and believing the right way. Am I making my point? So, I'm not going to go into details about, I don't want to lose this again, so I'm going to put it right there. Remind me that it's there, though. Okay, but if not, I'll still get it back. I'm not going to go into details today about how to do this, how to go from the brain, heart, or spirit area and make this work all together. But there is a person here, Mary, that wonderful lady sitting in the back. She runs my office there. Right? Give her a hand. So she'll be available at the end to give you information. I have YouTube videos I've done that explain this in some detail. She'll be happy to give those to you. It's free. If you want my services, she'll be happy to give you an appointment time. Whatever I can do to help, I'll do it. But I am here today to attempt to help you understand how to answer questions in perhaps a different way, with a different perspective. Might help. But that's the purpose for being here today. Now, to do that, I've got two rules. One rule is, all I ask you to do is, if you're selected, please stand. Give us your first name and say your question out loud so everyone can hear it, but please keep standing. It will help everyone else in this process until we're finished. Keep standing. Second thing is, I need you to keep an open mind. I don't know how your spirit will convey to mine about dates, times, names, places, images, you name it. I don't know how this will all transpire. I know it will occur. I may need your help. So if I mention people, if I bring up certain things, situations that are sensitive, I'm not judging, I'm not criticizing. All I'm attempting to do is feed the information back to you in the way your spirit is giving it to me. Am I being clear about that? Okay. But as long as you keep thinking yes, 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 then we'll move forward. But if you start thinking no, 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 everything shuts down and we don't go anywhere. And let me make sure we understand one other thing too. I spoke about brain, heart, and spirit area. Spirit is nebulous to a lot of people. I don't think it is to this group, but I want to make sure of this. So let me ask you a couple of questions. Talking about spirit, how many people have ever had the situation where you wanted to speak to someone, maybe someone important, you didn't get around to it for whatever reason, and within a short period of time, that person is contacting you? With a show of hands, how many people? Look around. Take a look around. There are a lot of you. Well, what happened on that was your spirit sent out the word to their spirit. So we had spirit-to-spirit communication because it said what you want to do was great. So it sent out your signal through your antenna to their antenna, wherever they are. They could be in another galaxy and they would have gotten the message. So their spirit recognized your information. It sent your information up the spine. It went through their heart, so they felt like calling you. It went into their brain, so they thought about calling you, and the rest is history. That's how this works. Okay? Studying science sometimes is helpful. Okay? And how many people have ever had a situation where maybe you've been asleep and then you had some type of prophetic dream that later became true? With a show of hands, how many people? I'll take a look around. There are a lot of you. Well, why do you think it happened, or happens mostly at night? Why?
Because you're out of your head.
You're out of your head. You're out of your heart. Okay? We are in our human side too much, too often during the day. Spirit can't get through, so when we're asleep, everything is asleep, and spirit can now communicate and talk to you. Now think about this. I thought about these ideas over 25 years ago. Was it happenstance or was it really happening? I know it's really happening. I've spent all these years trying to figure this out so I can live every moment, every day like this, and I want to help you. So you can ask me any question you want. I don't care what the topic is. It can be about career, about business, your pets. I do this all the time during the week. I'm a practicing doctor, but you'd be amazed at the questions I'm answering because I am not answering the questions. The answers are coming from your spirit. I'm just translating as best I can. That's all I'm doing. So, I thought we have some fun. Okay. Who's the first person? Please, would you mind standing, please?
Yes, my name's Kathy.
Kathy, thank you for being here.
I've been in pain since November,
Okay.
and it's all around this lower hip area
Okay.
and lower back. I've done massage, I've done meditation, I've done chiropractic work, I've been to a physician,
Right.
and
Okay.
just,
Well,
what can I do?
well, let's keep standing. This is good. Okay, in every person's problem, I don't care what the problem is, it's either a physical issue, like diet, exercise, water, sleep, or an energetic issue. Mental, emotional, spiritual. In this case, it's an energetic issue. It's mental, emotional, and spiritual. So we would start there first. We'd go to physical second, which is why all these physical modalities aren't working. So then I asked, from where are you asking the question? You're asking from the brain. And the brain will bring out anger, frustration. There's a lot of frustration about why aren't I healed? Some anger about this, but it's also about other issues. So now if we go back to this, I ask, is it about business or personal? It's business. If I ask, is it about current or past? It's current. If I ask, is it about people, places, or things? It's places like where you're living. And the second would be things, money and time, mostly time. And then the people would be females. So let me ask what this means. I'm trying to understand this. Okay, we're going into the present time. We're talking about where you're living. We're talking about time usage, like something is eating up time. And there's a female involved here, other than yourself. So what are you showing me?
Well, I do have issues with my daughter.
Okay. Well, this is what's driving this problem. Because those issues aren't resolved, that is now causing problems with your sympathetic nervous system. We'd have to go into the physical after this. But if I ask, is the issues you're dealing with your daughter the primary reason for having this problem? The answer is partially. We have to go back in time. We go back in time, and I'll stay in this lifetime. In this lifetime, we go back to you at age 4. Age 4, we're dealing with family. Okay, so we're dealing with family. Either your parents or siblings as parents, and then onto parents, it's mom. It's mom. You at age 4. Do you remember anything going on with the family, you and mom at age 4? The relationship that you had at that time?
Well, I did have crazy hair and it was hard to brush.
Well, that's part of this. That's part of this. The crazy hair, whether it's the crazy hair that you had or the crazy situations you're going through with your daughter, they're all the same because they weren't resolved. It seems like your mom was more straightforward, not quite as outgoing as you, in a lot of respects. So her boundaries weren't your boundaries?
It's true.
Yeah, even now. So she couldn't give you boundaries, and you didn't have any at that point, but you were wondering, like, how can I get more love from my mom? How can I get more respect from her? This type of thing, and still have all my ideas. Well, you learned a story. And that story now is being played out between you and your daughter that was never resolved between you and your mother. In other words, you can be wild, crazy, and bold. And it doesn't matter who you are, and people will still love you. You can try to fit back into a box to try to get other people's love, but that's not going to work. You are just as outgoing as your daughter. And when you can accept that and forgive your mom for trying to put you into a box, and I'm not trying to characterize anyone unduly or create any problems, I'm just simply trying to give it to you as it's coming through. If you can accept yourself for being bold, open, and enthusiastic, and allow others to be the same way, as long as it's not hurting you, then you can forgive and we can move on, and then energetically that opens the door for me now to go into physically what's happening. So let's go physically into what's happening here. Very easy on this. You're in what's called sympathetic overload. A sympathetic overload means it's like driving a car with just a foot on the gas. There's no brake. We're going, getting more and more and more resistance. Okay? Because the harder you try to corral your daughter, the more she's going to go outwards and do more. that's going to create more issues. So we've got to understand that the issues really aren't about her, the issues are about accepting who and what you are and being okay with that, so we can quiet down the nervous system. Now yes, you will need potassium, you'll need magnesium, you will then need chiropractic, massage, acupuncture perhaps, a lot of different modalities, but then they'll start working because you'll give them permission to work. Secondary issue would be drainage and toxicity, so now we go into the liver, we go into the kidney system because there's fear that maybe this will never end, that I'm stuck with this, I want to resolve this, does this make sense? So the kidneys are causing a problem. Liver, gallbladder, if the digestive system isn't functioning properly, which will occur when the sympathetic nervous system isn't, bringing up another issue about digestion, right? So all of these areas will malfunction. They'll cause more acidosis. The acidosis will exacerbate the pain, and no matter what you're trying to do out there, it's not going to work. The answers for all of our problems are in here. They're never out there. Now, out there is a complement to what's going on in here. So am I making my point about this? You can get well. You can. You just have to understand the story. And the story, once you release the story, the new story you develop will start releasing you. And then the physical work will work. If you're not sure about something, call my office. I'll be more than happy to talk to you for it. Okay? Did it help? Thank you. Thank you very much. Who else? Yes.
Wow, I'm blown away and shocked, like big time.
Well, thank you. But she gave me all the
I know, but
information,
it's
so let's
just
stop.
like,
Let's stop there.
I kind of just want to know what's next. I'm just transitioning between living in the brain and the heart all the time into going into the spirit, so I'm kind of taking steps forward, taking steps back, taking steps forward, taking steps back.
Right.
So I've been doing that. So
Right.
what's the kicker? Like, get me the push.
Okay, here. Well, think about this. Again, we ask is, thank you, Stan. We think about, is it physical or energetic? You tell me. What is it?
Energetic.
Energetic. Thank you. Very good. Very good. I'll let you take over my next lecture. Keep going. Okay, so it's energetic. Okay. And she's dealing with it from the brain. So she's dealing with it from anger and frustration. More anger than frustration because you need a kick. I mean, you're wondering, like, why is it taking so long? Like, what's going on here? You don't need a kick. Okay, you just need to understand this is another story. Now, is it story about the present time? Well, is it business or personal? It's personal. Is it current or past? Again, we've got conflict between both. As both are coming up, we've got some current issues going into the past. If we go into currents, it's about people, places, or things. It's people first, places second, things third. So people, male, female, it'll be female coming up. Places would be where you're working. I'm not sure what this means. And then things would be, again, it's about time, but it's more about trusting time, like trusting I'll have enough time. So I have to ask you, in terms of where are you working?
Nowhere really. I mean, yeah, kind of, sort of. I'm just starting up my business.
Okay. Okay. So,
So-
where you're working and living in the same place?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so the first problem is that we've got to start understanding that the business is not about business. The business is about emotions. You've got to get your heart into this business. It's not just about using your brain and logic to get the business running.
Okay.
Okay? So when I talk about getting into your emotions about the business, how do you begin enjoying this new business? What would you do?
I would have a place that I would feel comfortable where people could come and go and not be, like, it's hard to get people because I'm working from home, so I've got to coordinate the whole house so I can have time for people to come in, which is a little difficult.
Okay. Well, here again, we got another story running at the same time. What you're saying is true for you. But the story that's directing this is a story coming through your father, your biological father. And your biological dad keeps saying that he's the one who's saying those words that you just said. That I have to have the house a certain way, it has to look a certain way, it has to be a certain way. He's coming through right now. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So her program right now that's stopping her is about the relationship with her father. Now, I'm not trying to make anyone out to be bad or good. There are no victims or no villains. It's just we all have programs. I've got mine, she has hers. But what's been keeping you stable, which has been keeping you in inertia, is not your program, it's your father's program. That I have to be perfect. I've got to do it in a certain way. I have to have a certain amount of money. I have to look a certain way, do it in a certain way. Does that make sense? Well, that's not your program. Your program is, I need to get back to my heart. Because you're a brain person, but you've got to learn how to use your heart. You've got to get to your heart, and you've got to become who you're supposed to be. Make it look the way you want it to. Make it smell the way you want it to. Put the colors in it you want. I don't care what you want to do, but get your heart going into this business so we can put your father's program aside, and you can be the person you're supposed to be. Your dad was successful in his own way. And maybe he was trying to have you be successful in that way too, but you're not that same person. So you've got to do it your own way, and your own way will be more than good enough. Now, physically, okay, now you're taking me into the digestive area. We're going into the large intestine. Large intestine deals with the ability to move forward readily and quickly for your judgment. Large intestine. So again, with the stress you're under about, I don't know what to do, which is a lie, that's the whole program. Okay? You do know what to do. And because you've been saying that very long now, that's been affecting your digestive system. You're going to what's called dysbiosis. So we have now the loss of the correct bacteria in our gut, which will then create yeast, candida, and mold in the gut, which will also create chemicals, which will then circulate through our body, which will go up to our brain, and then also exacerbate the problem of I don't know what to do. It'll make you more tired, more frustrated, and you'll feel even spacey and foggy, which is not really who you're supposed to be. So the solution to this is number one, do it your own way. But bring the heart into it. Bring your emotions into this. Because in this case, since starting your business does come from God, it's the right thing to do. Okay? So do it in terms of what does God want you to do? And I mean this literally. What does God want me to do in terms of getting my business going? How should it look? What colors? Whatever you want. The second thing is take care of your health at that point. But if you do both, you won't have the inertia. Did that help?
Yes, 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 thank you.
Please. Please. Yes.
Systemic shingles, veneers caused by the systemic shingles, and 3 Belgian disc in my lower back.
Okay. First name, please?
Alicia.
Alicia. Thank you. This is a physical issue because this is serious stuff. Right now, her body is going like, we got to take care of this. We got to take care of this. Okay. So physically, we go back into start scanning her entire body. We go back into sympathetic nervous system, brain, and neurological system. In this case, though, it seems like you're stuck into figuring out problems. It's not just the health issues. There seems to be something else circulating about some issue. It's not money. It's not about relationships. And again, it's about the loss of my time. I'm losing a lot of time by being sick like this, and you're wondering, like, how am I going to get well? What am I doing? So we've got 2 things breaking down your brain and nervous system. Primarily, though, it's about the physical, so we have to support them. Magnesium, potassium. We've got to have you do meditation because the immune system is the first system that's been listening to the way you've been thinking, the way we all think. The immune system is the first one to respond to that. So meditation, meditating with lying in a hammock or a vibration, like a chi machine or something like that will help a lot in reducing the stress. Flowers, looking at flowers, that's very important for you. Colors like that, very important. And even smelling potpourri is very important for relaxing you while you're allowing this brain and immune and nervous system and the immune system to recover. But the second area, secondary area goes back, and third, go back into drainage and detoxification. Again, I got to go back to the liver system. Kidneys, not so bad, but the liver system, colon area, this type of thing, digestion is not good. So we've got to open that up. Drainage formulas. I have German drainage formulas that the Germans use to not only remove the poisons, but to get them out of the body. They work incredibly well. We've got to get those poisons out. And I have to ask this because you're bringing up a male. Do you have a brother?
Yes.
Okay, you're bringing up a brother right now. And somehow your brother is connected to this, or you're concerned about your brother, and he's coming through on this end also. So what's your concern about your brother? Because this is also affecting your condition. I'm not trying to shift or change, but you're bringing this up.
No, I understand. He has a degenerative disease that is causing him a lot of problems.
Thank you. Okay. Then the answer is obvious. what's going on right now is because you're thinking because he has this problem, I may have a similar issue, I may be degenerating, I may not get well, this may be too much for me to handle, his example to you is not good. Okay? Now, by believing that way, even in the smallest amount, what do you think that does to you?
It programs you
That's right, but what does it program you to do?
to degenerate.
Yeah, degenerate. Yeah, we lose hope, we lose faith. So in that case then, if we are losing hope, if we're losing faith, then we're going to naturally revert back to what we know. We're going to go back to the brain, we're going to try to figure it out, which is going to create more problems, logically, because we'll be stuck there, which then creates more anger and frustration. Or we'll go to the heart, which creates fear, doubt, and uncertainty, which is just equally as bad. So we have to understand that his condition is his condition, yours is yours, and they are not associated. Yours is an issue more about toxicity that took over. His is more about genetic, but even that can be changed. But yours, you can change. You can change. And I'm not just saying this is true. You can change things. But we've got to get out of here, the brain, and get out of the heart, and get back to believing that there really is a God and that God wants to help me. I'm not alone. When I got back my cell phone, God said to me, you're not alone, that I'm here. And if he would return my cell phone to me, what do you think he could do for you?
I think all things possible.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. But again, to learn how to jump from here or there to here and really get this down took a lot of time for me. That's why I did those YouTube videos. Mary can give you information. I believe there's a lot that can be done to help you. But I'd be willing to bet, and this is a bet I'd be happy to take, that if you do the right things, you could be out of all this, and even most of the degeneration in no more than 4 months. You can get your life back. You can get 90% of your life back in 4 months or less. That's not coming from me, that's coming from your spirit. But the first thing is, that's true, it's true. But the first thing is, we have to understand that even though this is a physical issue, we have a story going that's competing with that physical issue almost neck and neck. So you've got to change those two. Okay, does that help?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
My name is Kathy. I had a very traumatic injury in '85, and at the time, I thought I narrowly escaped becoming paralyzed, and found out months later that no, I barely escaped being dead. And another intuitive person told me they sense a lot of panic deep inside me. And I'm wondering, even though my conscious mind was blissfully ignorant of how severe it was at the time, I'm thinking I'm carrying around some sort of deep, oh my God, I'm gonna die panic that's playing like malware in the background.
Okay. So you're asking, I want to be sure on this, you're asking about that.
Do I have this program of panic and terror running in the background?
Yes, yes you do. Yes you do. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And it's mostly about now, in the present time. And basically, everything you were saying to me, even though you were orally saying, your spirit is saying more about what do I really want to do with my life now. Now that's really the issue. Because if you decide what you want to do with your life now, all this fear and panic changes into confidence and certainty. Now, I have to ask you too, because you're taking me to you as a child. When you were a child, were you afraid of the dark? Because you're showing me issues about the dark or things that are unknown. That could be a metaphor.
I did have some big fears. I don't remember one about the dark. I was very afraid of fire, and nobody really knew why.
Okay. Well, in this case, you're showing me about darkness. It's got to be a metaphor then for I don't know what to do. I don't know where I'm going to go, because if I move those feet forward, where does it take me? So I have to ask, where do you want to go with your feet? What do you want to do? What do you want to do?
I want to pursue the arts. I want to be an artist.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you what's coming through on this. You're probably a very good artist, and you probably could do it, but you're talking about making money. Now, you can represent artists. You can showcase artists. You can even do it on the side if you want to, but you've got to get back into making money. Now, this is not coming from me, this is coming from you.
Yeah.
So does that make sense?
Yes.
So why, and you could be actually a very good businesswoman. You could be, you could be. If you could get interested in the artist, if you get interested in what they're doing, if you could understand you're really trying to help them, you're just a bridge, like I'm a bridge. And we can get enthusiastic about where we're going and what we're doing. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I would ask you first to start thinking about how can you represent people? What could you do in that regard? And how could you get involved in the artistic community? But from the point of representing them and selling their work first. Now, your dad who's coming through, and your dad is trying to tell us that he wanted to do business, but he didn't seem to be very good with business. Does that make sense? Okay. He's hoping you'll take the mantle over and you'll run with it because he's showing me a torch, like you'll have a torch and you'll be able to move forward with it because he's hoping that he wants business to be established in your family lineage. Why?
I don't know.
Yeah, because he keeps going like, I wanted to do it, like you're a jump-off point for the others after you. And for some reason it's important. It's like you want respect or appreciation because of a businessman and people will respect it. Does that make sense?
I don't know. I looked so much like him. Maybe when he saw me, he just thought, yeah, there's me continued or something. I don't know.
Well, I can also tell you that he doesn't want you to be nebulous. He wants you to be focused. He wants you to get the job done. So when you cross over, you fulfill your purpose and destiny. And I'm just going to tell you this, because it's coming from you. Your purpose and destiny is to do exactly what we just said. It's to represent and work with people and get them out and make money. And you can use that money for anything you want to help your liberty and anyone else's. But he wants you to make money through that. So that's coming from him. So I would encourage you to do that. And these fears are just self-imposed. They're not real. They're not real. When you were born as a heart person, so you've lived too much in the emotions. And because you've lived too much in the emotions, you're dealing with fear, doubt, uncertainty. I'm asking you, your spirit is asking you to move from the heart up to the brain. And in the brain, you're going to be using more logic so you can start balancing this. And when you start balancing this whole axis, then you'll allow God to work. And then you'll be training yourself. Because I was never supposed to be a physicist, because I'm a heart person. But I had to train my brain. Okay, I understand what you're saying, but that was one of the best things I ever did was to train my brain. Okay? So I'm asking you to do the same, and your dad is too. Does that make sense? So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. What time is it? What time is it?
11:33.
11:33. Good. You got some more time. Please.
Hi, my name is Elisa. I'm dealing with a lot of emotional pain right now. I've been married for 10 years, separated for 3 months, and wondering if a divorce would be the biggest mistake of my life.
Okay. That's a very good question. Well, again, audience, you tell me. Physical, energetic?
Energetic.
Energetic. Very good. Very good. Okay? And she is working from her heart. Okay? So working from her heart and spending so much time in her heart. In the heart area, she's dealing with fear, doubt, uncertainty. The question is about fear, doubt, uncertainty. Okay? So if I ask, okay, let me go right to the point on this one. I don't need to go through the steps. The point is on this, there's an old program inside you that is trying to tell you that you have to suffer. There's an old program. Now, it's not just in this lifetime, it came from other lifetimes, but if I go stay in this lifetime, this takes us back to when you were 6 years of age. We're dealing with family, okay, parents, and it's mom. It's mom. So, whatever you're learning right now, whatever you have learned, seems to have come from that period of time because by 6 years of age, you've already learned that type of suffering. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Why? How
My
did you learn
dad
that?
was very physically and verbally abusive towards my mom and
Thank you.
my family.
Thank you.
Siblings as well.
Well, guess what? We all create stories. Some of them are good, some of them are not. You've got the story about abuse. Now that story is being sent out because this is an equal opportunity transmitter, the spinal system. It's transmitting all the good thoughts, it's transmitting all the bad thoughts. And the people out there that are in tune with those bad thoughts, guess what? There's a bullseye right here. She has a bullseye right here. And those people that are transmitting and receiving that information about the negative thoughts that want to abuse, they're going to be drawn to you. Okay, like bees to pollen. Okay. So we're drawing these people to us. We must accept 100% responsibility for our part in this story. I've got mine, you've got yours. But if we can accept that, we're not doing it for judgment, we're just simply saying, I know I've got a program. So before you can answer that question about what to do, you've got to change that program. You have to change the program. But I'm going to bet that if you do change the program, and if your husband doesn't change his, if he doesn't, there's no way that the two of you can coexist in the same place at the same time. You can't. Now, if he could change, if he could really change and understand his programs, there's a chance this could be saved. There really is. But my point is your safety. So, are you getting help right now? Are you getting counseling? I would strongly encourage you to find a counselor. If you're not sure what counselor to go to, because I don't have names, if you can give me a list of, say, 8 to 10 people, whether you know them or not, if you can email it to me, I can scan through the list, I can find someone, because your spirit will guide me, and I can tell you which one you should go to. It's not coming from me, it's coming from you. I'll help you any way I can. Okay? But please, before you answer anything, you've got to understand what you learned from your mom. Change that. I mean, she did what she felt was best. She did it for the family. But you're not doing it for the best reasons. Okay? So there's no reason to continue this. Am I being clear?
Yes.
So get the answers for what you are and who you are now. You can decide later about this marriage, but you've got to change this in you. This has to change. And then everything else will too. But then go back to understanding that there's a God. That God wants to help you. That God will never leave you. That God will help in all these circumstances. You've got to go back and find that. It's a personal journey. Once you find it, you'll never change. Am I being clear? Thank you. Please.
Hi, I'm Jeannie, and I know I have a lot of gifts to help people, but I cannot figure out what to do. And I'm 62, it's like I really need to figure this out.
Okay. So if I ask about, again, what's stopping this, basically it's like what's stopping this, right? So again, physical, energetic, right? If I ask, and she's dealing with this from her heart. Now, you may come across as a brain person, but you were born as a brain person, actually born as a brain person, a logical person. But now you're really trying to come to your understanding, you're trying to use your heart. Good job. The reason why you're not sure about your gifts is because as a brain person, going into the heart, it's unfamiliar territory. You're not sure what to do. And because you're not sure what to do, it's kind of like, in this case, I'm not sure what to do because I've got an old program that says I should be able to logically figure everything out. When you're going into the heart, there is no logic there, by definition. It's emotion. Now we have to be, there is something about emotion that frightens you. What is it? Why does it frighten you?
It's, I think I learned early on it was safer to keep that
Right.
out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I thought becoming a physicist, going to my brain, I could just push everything away, just live this way, even though I was a heart person, everything would be safe. No, it creates nothing but problems. We cannot push away our genius. Our genius is, for all of us in this world, our genius is to learn how to use our brain, to work equally well with our heart, and turn it all over to God. That's a genius in all dimensions, not just 3 dimensions. So, right now, we've got to get back into having you get right with your feelings and forgiving your father. He's coming up right now. Why is your father coming up at this point?
Well, he was a highly functional alcoholic, very successful, but and he and I did well when we were together. When he was sober, we didn't do so well. And my mom was, when there was 3 of us, but he was pretty intimidating.
Well, by looking at your dad, and your dad, when he was born, your dad was born as a heart person, so he was deep in his emotions. So you saw him deep in his emotions, you saw him out of control, you saw how that did work, you saw the worst part of that, and guess what? You being a brain person, no. So we learned a program that said it was unstable, dangerous to go into that realm. So now we've got to learn a new program. One of the ways of learning a new program is work with flowers, colors, touch, scent, like aromatherapy, things like this. Touching people, so you can just feel them and sense them, like putting your hand on their shoulder, things like this. Okay, it's very important that you get back into that, knowing that each step you make will be safe. It'll be safe. If you can get back into that arena and do it well, you can be a great therapist.
Well, I'm a master aromatherapist and a certified reflexologist, but I put that aside.
It's all coming from you.
You can't make
It's
a
all-
living.
Well, you'd be surprised what you can make a living at if you
Yeah.
believe in it.
Yeah.
Because if you believe in it, then guess what everyone else will do? Look, when I started this, when I got out of chiropractic school, my faculty, they said, Gary, you're crazy, you're nuts. No one would ever listen to you. No one's ever going to come to you. No one. And the first day I opened the doors, we were busy. Okay? Plenty of people want to listen to you. There are plenty of brain people out there. There are plenty of heart people that are looking for liberation. You overcome your limitations, they'll overcome theirs. If you believe that this will work and you get involved with this and you open up your heart to it and let God guide you, you'll do well. You'll do well. But you've got to trust that it's safe.
Big time.
Safe. Okay? And not just safe, you enjoy it. Because if you'll do that, everything else follows. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Thank you. You got about 5 minutes? Okay. I want to end this with a question I have for you. Okay, what time is it? What time is it? Now. Where are we? Here. Who are we? Who are we? We're spirit. We're children of God in the here and now. Look, what I've done is everything you can do. Everything you can do is exactly what I just did. I'm just using this idea of the spirit. The spirit will give us information. But if we get stuck here in the brain, we know what's going to happen. It's anger and frustration. If we get stuck in the heart, we know what's going to happen. It's fear, doubt, uncertainty. We know that. Everyone is here today not to hear me. You're here for liberation. And if you want liberation, the only way you can find liberation is through an understanding that there is a God. Now, I'm not referring to any religion. That's up to you. You've got to find God in your own way. This is a personal journey, but you're all here to do it today. Because you started the process. Okay? And I'm still moving along in mine. But you've got the chance to liberate yourself and know all the answers to every question you could have, not just for yourself, but for everyone else. Because when you work in the spirit area, the answers you get are not just right for you, they're right for everyone else involved in this decision. It's the only way to live. The only way to live. It will take time. Mary can give you information about YouTube videos that I've used. If I can help you personally in the office, I'll be happy to do whatever I can. But you understand, this is a journey. I want to thank you for being here. Thank you.